What's up, gents? Okay, I'm going to share with you some information in this video, which has been the summation of a process I've been going through um, over the last 6 months. I'd say I've moved out to the Middle East and I've been growing my business out here. And if you have gone through depressive windows when you're growing your own business, if you've hit a point where you just continuously go through these burnout cycles and don't have the mental clarity that you want, and don't have the inner well-being and energy that you want, this video is going to be for you because, I have honestly spent hundreds of hours researching these things. I've got so much cool context to show you, but I really, really encourage you to stick around on this one. I may not be a big YouTuber. I haven't really committed a lot of time and energy to do it. The way I approach YouTube is really just sharing things that I've really got. I really don't try and share on a consistent basis to try and hit numbers, because then it just becomes unauthentic, and I'm sharing things before I've really had a chance to process the lessons and before they're really authentic. So when I do endeavor to share something with you, I hope it's going to be authentic, and I'm going to continue to share in that way, because this is not how I'm going to try and build a business. I've already got a business. So to give you some context, I've been running a digital marketing agency for about 2 years now, going over 2 years, nearly hitting our first million, and that's really the goal this year. That's what I'm gunning for. It's taken longer than expected, but I'm learning so much along the way. And one of the themes, though, on this journey has been windows of like enthusiasm and grinding, and consuming all of the personal development books and learning skills, listening to top entrepreneurs, busting out sales, and just having these moments of insight, and then gradually sort of just burning out. And like sometimes the window in which I'm burning out and the cycle and time frame in which I'm burning out is getting shorter and shorter. And oftentimes these burnout cycles can feel unmotivating. They can feel exhausting. Like I just get flat, like mentally and physically, to the point where I just don't want to do things on weekends, for example, except for rest. This has affected like personal relationships. This has affected like my mental health massively. Like I've had windows over the last 6 months where I've just honestly felt depressed, and I felt I've had almost windows of anxiety, like panic attacks, where I felt just really, really depleted, tension headaches in the evening, sore throats, headaches, and just feeling flat, like no energy to get work done, and just really knowing that I've got these the responsibilities are continuing to mount and pile on top of each other, and my ability to deal with it is getting more and more diminished, and therefore my ability to deal with stress is just getting worse and worse. Again, this affects my relationships because I become more irritable, less abundant, and less just present and available for anything outside of work. And a result of that is you start to feel more and more fatigued and more stressed, and more burnt out, and that creates more of a fear framework, and it sort of roots you in a space of fear where you worry that, oh wow, I don't even have the energy to maintain what I've created, and I'm going to lose things. And then you continue to push out of fear, and then all of your actions are rooted in fear. They're not rooted in this presence, and they're not rooted in energy, and they're not rooted in clarity. And if you're anything like me, I went through periods. I'm going to be turning 30 soon, and if you're anything like me, like my early 20s, whenever this is for you, I started getting into meditation, and I started getting into personal development, and I went through windows where I didn't have a business, but I wanted a business. And I used to listen to podcasts, and I used to journal, and I used to have great insights, and I got really into nutrition. I studied in functional medicine, sort of like holistic schools. I even coached in that space for a few years. I got taught by world-class nutrition and mental and emotional wellness coaches. So I've really been in that world before I went into business. So I had a load of information, and honestly, I forgot a lot of what I've learned. And over these last few years, I've got to a point where I've just been, tired of just feeling flat, having windows of depression. I think I've got ADD on some level, and I think that makes me more sensitive. My sensitivities make me even less tolerant of stress. So, I've played around with diet over the years, and really over the last 6 to 7 months, maybe even year and a half, these burnout cycles are just getting more and more exhausting. I'm in a place now where I don't use weed to medicate on the weekends, which I used to do. I don't really drink at all. Have the odd glass of wine every now and again, and maybe the odd sort of blow out with friends once or twice a year at most. But recently, I've just locked in on a diet and nutrition protocol, which has been profound for me. It's given me the clarity that I need, the energy that I need, and really the formula that you want is good energy, channels towards good things and good purpose. So you want to get the energy formula and equation right first, but that's only one piece of the puzzle. Then you want to be channeling that towards meaningful pursuit and using and channeling that energy in the right way. Oftentimes you don't have a mental health problem, you have an energy problem. Like, at least for me, when I'm super fatigued and super flat and super dopamine depleted, I feel really low and I feel really depressed. But when you start to get the energy thing fixed, I think we all know, like, when we've feeling energized, when we've got energy in us, like we're well. And then, like, if we've got thought patterns which are off, they're easier to correct, they're easier to self-reflect on, and they're easier to iron out. And there are lots of different practices that you can get going to start to, like, work on that. But I would really, really encourage that. Focus on the energy thing. And this is for people who are like, have tried different diet protocols and are like just still never consistent with anything. You have to do this. This is what I'm sticking to. I'm going to essentially just share with you my weekly, like, eating routine right now and supplement routine and what I'm doing. And like, I went from feeling burnt out, like a cycle where I went feeling burnt out like 4 days ago, to the next day feeling great and been feeling great every day and sleeping well. Even it's pretty, like, powerful what happens. And sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm not even burnt out. I'm actually deficient in certain nutrients. And it just goes to show how much, like, not eating foods that inflame the brain and putting the right things in your body can really just transform your energy quite rapidly. And it's really, really important, this, because about a week ago I was like in a office, I was in a co-work space with my partner, and I was so flat and I had so many mountain responsibilities, and like the business is so close to hitting like a new period where we're just going to like exponentially grow. I'm like going to build outbound sales systems, which no one in my space is doing, for like, from a cold calling perspective, some really cool shit. If you want to know about it, ask me, I'll tell you. Those who do watch this are actually going to get my game as well, because I'm here to share it all. I really am. But the game that you're going to get today is the health and nutrition protocol that I'm working on. Most people will probably charge you a lot of money for this. I'm not. I'm just going to share it all with you now, so bear with me. Okie dokie. So this is my next goal. You know, this is March 2025. So if you're watching this now, you're in for a good one. And once again, if you're going to do this, I recommend getting to a point where you're ready to do it. You need to sort of allocate some budget towards it. I'd recommend, like, looking at something like this. If you're earning, like, you need to be earning like £2,000 or £3,000 a month or more, really. You need to be like in a position where you're covering your own costs. If you're living at home, for example, and you've got a job, great, you can probably do it there and then as well. If you're really tight on budget, this might not be the video for you, but also this is pretty simple. It's not going to be excessive. You can do this on a low budget if you get things right, but I recommend doing everything that I'm going to share to you. Just do what I'm doing and see how you go, and you can iterate off the back of that. Because, you know, I've listened to, like, Alex Becker, for example. By the way, I've literally consumed like hundreds and hundreds of hours of articles, journals, health and wellness experts, entrepreneurs, Reddit forums. I've looked at like new clinical perspectives on ADD, on burnout, on different diets and how they affect neurological health, performance, nutrition, holistic nutrition, functional medicine. Like, all of this is compounded to this protocol, which I think is like pretty simple. Again, like Alex Becker said this in one of his videos years ago, you should be looking to get like 80% of the way, 90% of the way. The extra stress and investment and neuroticism that comes from trying to get 100% optimized is usually not worth it, and usually means you try and go really optimized and you crash. What you want to find is like a humming state which you can maintain, which you can maintain essentially. So you really want to find like an altitude of like 80 to 90% of like well-being optimized and clarity optimized. But honestly, the flow states I've been able to hit while I've been eating this way has just been profound. Like, and one of the key things that you want to do is not have like metabolic fluctuations. You don't want to be going up and down. Like, I used to wake up and like have like granola with like a protein shake and like peanut butter, and even though all of these things sound good, and blueberries, I would just feel flat and I'd be up and down. This is what we're doing. So, like, firstly, get clear on your goals. I recommend to do this yourself. I'm going to share this in the show notes, or like the YouTube comments. No burnout, clearer energy, mentally healthy for me, clear focus. I want high life enjoyment, and I want to keep maximal energy and focus for ORC growth to 80K per month, which I'm really close to. So I really want to hit a goal. So I can pay myself around like 12 to 50. You follow YouTubers who are doing much more than that. You may be doing less than that. This is just where I'm at. So this is my goals. The daily supplements I'm taking, and by the way, like, last thing that I'll preface this with is like, I'm really keen to like have good mental health as well. I'm someone who needs to protect it more. I'm very sensitive. I have like really good highs, but I can also like get like can really burn out. Some people just have like stronger constitutions. If you're like a more of a sensitive constitution, you need to protect that because there's probably an artistic genius in you and you probably have amazing insights, but you need to get your body working for you and take care of it in another way and put the right fuels in it. So the daily supplements I'm taking is omega-3s. I've got one which actually has like little pouches and has 3 or 4 capsules in, and it has like 3 to 4 different sources like flax seeds, omega, cod liver. You want it really high in, you want the right balance between DHA and EPA, and you want to make sure, essentially our diets are mostly like, omega-6 dominant, so you want omega-3s and the ratio to start tipping, but you get those healthy fats in. I recommend taking it after food with water. I'm having a multivitamin every day, again, after food with water. I'm taking it in a drink format. Chlorella, I find that it just hits so many different macronutrients. It's incredibly powerful. Green powder, you can get it for like $7 to $8 and it'll probably last you a couple of months. Organic chlorella, super good stuff. I use a protein powder. I use a plant-based protein powder, which is probably one of the things that could be changed. I've also got a beef collagen one as well. But they're very, very clean ingredients. And I take a magnesium glycinate at night. So I've got 3 different types of eating days. Day 1, and I'm just going to walk you through it. Day 1 is black coffee, and then my breakfast. This has been the big thing. Like, having whole foods again for breakfast has been a fucking game changer for me. So having clean chicken, olive oil, high quality olive oil, is so great for digestion. So many polyphenols, so great for brain health, and such a clean energy source. Spinach, great macronutrients, and half a cup of rice. So I don't want to go like full keto. It's not really my goal at the moment. I find I don't really need to, but you want lower carbs during the day, and then you can sort of enjoy your carbs more at night. You get a dopamine release, you sleep better, and you actually have less sort of like metabolic fluctuations throughout the day. So super simple. I don't go too heavy on the carbs, but I also don't exclude them. So like chicken, olive oil, spinach, half a cup of rice. Trust me, I had this morning, and like I haven't eaten for like 6 hours, and I'm just like glowing. I'm just buzzing. My skin's great. I feel healthy. I feel mentally sharp. I feel like mentally fluid. I just like a different person, and like it's annoying because you know you can feel like this, and then like life happens, and you maybe get out of routine and you start to forget like what your potential is. That's why I call this the limitless diet protocol, because that's really who and like how I want to feel. Then I have my supplements, omegas, multivitamin, chlorella. Then lunch, I'm keeping things super simple. Protein shake, handful of almonds. So like super easy to digest, super clean. I recommend that. Pretty much no carbs there whatsoever. You don't really need it. Like, I'm due this now. I don't really need the protein shake and handful of almonds, but you don't want a shitty protein shake. Nice and clean. If it has any sort of like digestive enzymes or anything good in there as well, that would be great. My dinner then is something like whole food chicken, either potatoes or rice, spinach and avocado. So that's one meal. When I say whole food chicken, like sometimes me and my partner, my fiance might grill it up. We might put some like taco seasoning on it as well, salt, pepper, that kind of thing. So you can make it taste good. And then I actually have muesli and protein in the evening. Like, I found I don't need to take that out yet. It's probably not the thing that I need, but like for me, that's my treat in the evening. And I'm getting the results while having that, so I don't need to take it out, which is fine. And that's on training days to get those extra calories in as well. Then the next day, I don't want to have black coffee every day, so I'm switching it with matcha just because of the antioxidants that you can get, and because the L-theanine that comes in it, and just to give my body a bit of like diversity and just not having coffee every day. And I've had periods, long periods without coffee. Then usually beef or chili con carne, because that's one of the evening meals I cook. And I find when I have chili con carne or beef, it's crazy. Like, I hadn't had beef for like 4 or 5 days, and like I was starting to look pale. I started to have dark circles under my eyes and was feeling mentally flat. And I was like, fuck, I used to feel like this in school all the time. That evening, I had a really nice chili with my partner. It had kidney beans in, so I used to be keto and like not have legumes. It had kidney beans in, all of those things. But then even as soon as I ate that, I started to feel like serotonin in my gut starting to like develop. I was like, wow, that is really profound. The next day, felt the same way. Took the chili, had it for breakfast at my office. And then I was still equally feeling fantastic. I suddenly had like a healthy natural tan to my face, even though like I haven't like got a suntan right now. Like, the bags under my eyes are gone. I felt sharp. My skin could look good. People were looking at me like I had energy. I felt positive. Like, I felt charming with like the coffee man in the morning. I had the extra energy to be kind and look him in the eye and be present and be the kind of man that I want to be. And I think a lot of that has to do with the B12 and any latent iron deficiencies one might have. And I think a lot of people can have that, especially if you have ADHD. You're quite likely to potentially have deficiencies in that area. So you want to make sure you're getting beef at least 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. I would actually throw eggs in the morning with the chicken here if you want them. I'm going to put eggs in as well. So we like to make a chili. We're going to do that twice a week because it's just so good. Bit of olive oil and half a cup of rice again. Omega's multivitamin chlorella, so same supplements. Lunch, again, protein shake, handful of almonds. Keep it super easy to digest so you can actually focus. And then whole foods, chicken or beef, so that could be homemade burgers or a similar like whole food chicken dish, how you want to do it. Potatoes and rice, could be rice, white potatoes or sweet potatoes, spinach, and if you want avocado for extra fats, or you can even make your own homemade guacamole with a lemon, super nice. Then again, muesli, protein on training days, and then again, matcha black coffee. See again, then we're back to the chicken, olive oil, spinach, and then eggs. And if you want, instead of rice, you can switch it up with the plain oatmeal, but nothing else in it. What you're doing here is you're also going for super plain foods again, so not having like hyper stimulating foods. Once you start to do this, trust me, you'll become happier, because like, have you ever gone camping before, or have you ever gone to a camp, or you've been out of your comfort zone or environment for a while, but then like you strip back to basics, you don't have all of your own comforts, but then after a while, you start to really appreciate the really nice things. I mean, have you ever had a fast or fasted for like 48 hours? Even having like some avocado with salt on something tastes incredible. Like, your baseline happiness just sort of recalibrates, and this is actually how we should really be as humans. So plain oatmeal, get used to being like, just having plain oatmeal tastes good. Like, I don't need it. It's fuel. You're looking to optimize your body for fuel and feeling good, and then you don't need all of the other like all of the treats and stuff that you usually want. Yeah, there's a time and place for it, like 80-20 still good, but you don't need it as much because you feel good. The reason you usually want treats is to try and like get you to a place where you're feeling good, but then you don't need to when you actually optimize like your body's chemistry. Same multivitamin, chlorella, omegas. Lunch, protein shake, handful of almond, and then dinner, make a chili. It could be a bolognese sort of similar dish, and you could put that on the potatoes, or it could again just be a chili con carne again, like the tomatoes in there as well, super full of nutrition. For me, I can tolerate them. I think most people can, unless you've got like serious crippling autoimmune issues. Like, I have pretty bad burnout cycles and stuff, and I don't need to go full carnivore. I really don't. Like, this works for me. I know how good I can feel in it. Spinach, rice, etc. And then similar. And then on the weekend, this is a nice place we like to go for breakfast, where I'll get like sourdough, avocado, and bacon and eggs. So like, I'll have one of those on the weekend. I'm not going to say no to that. Steak dinner, that will be something I choose. If we're going out for meals more often, I'm going to go for steak dinners, because I know historically, retroactively, looking back at my life, whenever I've gone out for dinner with friends and I've just ordered like grilled veg, steak, potatoes, I'm there. I don't phase out. I don't start to get brain fog. I don't start to burn out. Like, that's when I can go up. I go up to the bathroom and I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh damn, man! Like, you've got a glimmer in your eye. Your skin looks healthy and tanned. Like, you look good. You feel good. And like, it's because you've probably balanced out all micronutrient deficiencies. It's probably because you've got the B12, you've got the iron on board. Here's the thing, a lot of gym bros and stuff, and like, I've sort of got to a point where I was like, oh, actually, it's all just proteins, calories, macros, and as long as you're getting your protein in and getting your calories in, you can just backfill with whatever you want. That perspective is like super simplistic, but it just really has like a bro ignorance to like the power of macronutrients, the power of nutrition, and all of the different bodily functions and hormones, and like what the brain needs, and like everyone's bio-individuality. Like, I'm a more sensitive guy, but I know if I get these things right, I can be really profound. I can do really good things. I can create great art and have good ideas, and I can be a really good leader for my company. So I encourage you, try this for a month. It's simple. This is your shopping list. I'm going to put it in the YouTube notes. Let me know how you get on. Do it with me. Trust me. Like, hopefully you can feel from like the place I'm speaking from right now, there's a clarity and there's an authenticity there. Now, again, getting food right is only one part of the equation. There are going to be times in life where you can go off base from this, but if this becomes your like standard operating system, once it's like, then you can come back here. Don't beat yourself up too much. But really, the goal is to see how you feel on this, do it for a month, and then you can start to think about, okay, now what lifestyle things do I want to do to complement them? One of the things that I've got, and one of the things I've taken from the likes of, a recent Jack Hopkins video, which I thought was really profound, and from that book, Stillness of the Key, is taking time in the morning without the phone, without stimulation, to go and walk, journal, and start to just let ideas come. I believe in God, so also have a relationship with God. Talk to Him, ask for ideas, inspiration, and clarity. Connect, and also just write and process your thoughts. When you come into life, then and you like from that place, and you create that stillness to really cultivate inner peace, clarity, inspiration, and purpose, and connection to God. And then you get the food thing right. Shit, man, you do those two things in like seriously I'm sure you'll find whatever you need in your life. So I will create other videos when I feel they're appropriate, but this has been a big one for me. Hope it's helpful.